The holidays. A time where you get to just sit, not say anything to distant family who you haven't talked to in over a year, and just not have any time to do workouts while you're traveling. Well, I want to talk to you specifically about travel workouts, kind of three principles that you can go off of to make the most of your travel workouts, and some ideas of how you could actually implement these into practice. So, focus in and let's get into it. Jumbo, my friend, it's the Coach Zoe you know. And I wanted to talk specifically about travel workouts because as you were hearing this podcast, I am currently traveling somewhere in the world. And when I will be traveling, I have just needed to focus. That sounded weird. Let's try that again. That also sounded weird. One last try. I am going to be focusing while I travel on workouts that have three kind of specific goals in mind. And I always think about this when I think about travel workouts because you don't have usual equipment with you. It's not your normal daily routine of what goes on. You kind of have to adapt to whatever the vacation is that you're doing, where you are, a few different factors that come into play in order for you to still get that workout in, but also still enjoy the time at the location that you're at. Yes, there are some of these things, like if you're a runner, you can go run at that location, which is exactly kind of why I'm going to this location, to be able to go run and check things out and kind of get a good feel for the environment. But I'm more going to talk about, in your situation, what if it is something where you're just happening to go somewhere to just see family, where you have the conversation of, hey, how are you? Oh, I'm good. You? Good. And then you sit there around a dinner table for a couple hours and it just gets boring and you do a lot of sitting and you do a lot of driving or flying or whatever you might do. Well, I'm going to talk about the three principles of what I would implement for workouts for my clients, but also for myself while traveling. So the first thing that I would make sure for my workout is that it's time efficient. When we have time at home and we're able to structure out workouts, it's a little bit easier sometimes because while, yes, we still have different things of work and life that kind of come into play, when we're on vacation, we want to make sure that we maximize that time actually on our vacation. And the way that we can do this is for our workouts, we need to make sure they're time efficient. So if you usually do workouts that are with a bunch of heavier reps or heavier sets, and they're not really time focused, I would make them more time focused. I would use this time to focus on shorter circuits, more explosive exercises, sprints, where you get kind of more out of it and you feel that you got more out of it in a shorter amount of time. So this can be everything from like Tabata intervals, which basically means 20 seconds of hard work, 10 seconds rest. The standard is that you repeat that for a couple exercises for 8 rounds, which, doing my math real quick in my head, makes 4 minutes. So if you did just a few different exercises like that for a few of those Tabata rounds, 12 minutes, you're in and out of that workout, you're done, you can go on with the rest of your day. The second bit that I would work on is that you work with what you have. When you're in a hotel room and you're at a place and you walk down to the gym and all that's in that gym is 2 treadmills that are being used by 2 grandmas that are just walking for like 20 miles. Now, don't get me wrong, you get yours, grandma, but I need you to make sure that you're ready for whatever you have in your environment. And the best way you can be ready for that is to focus on some body weight exercise principles. Now, what I mean by this is that you have your body and your body weight that you can work with to do exercise wherever you are. Now, if you don't have a pull-up bar, you're just in a hotel room, the way that this works is you need to have things that you can do in a little amount of space. The way that this would go is I would do exercises back to back that are upper body, lower body, and cycle between those two with minimal rest in between. So that might be going from squats or split squats, then going to push-ups or kneeling push-ups. They're not girl push-ups. I don't care what anybody says, a kneeling push-up is not a girl push-up, because there are so many guys who I've seen in the gym who do such crappy push-ups. So it's not just a girl or guy thing. There's a lot of people who need to do kneeling push-ups and then work their way back to doing actual full push-ups. Side rant, back on topic. You can go from squats to push-ups, then you can go to lunges, then you can do some back exercises which are more around the center of the back, which can be either bird dogs or Supermans. You can look up both of those. If you just look up whatever I said, then exercise, that'll be your best way to get about it. Then you can go into some ab exercises where you get some nice V-ups or toe touches, then getting leg raises, side planks, things like that, and vary that up. Do that for a certain amount of reps. Do that back to back, however you need to do that. And you can even do it where you do as many reps or as many rounds as possible in a certain amount of time. So you can set a timer for 15 minutes, do those exercises for as many rounds as possible, only rest when you feel like you really need to, and just go until that 15-minute timer hits. I promise you'll get the most out of it if you actually put your effort into it in those 15 minutes. Final bit that I focus on in workouts when I'm traveling is working out for the situation. So, in that scenario I talked about where you're sitting with the family and all you do the other time is you might just be in a hotel room or staying at somebody's house just watching TV. When you're doing most of these things, you're sitting down, right? You're not going to be moving around a bunch, depends what vacation you're on, but in this scenario, you're just sitting down a bunch. What happens in this case? It's, well, like I'm doing now when I record this podcast, right? I'm sitting down, my hip flexors right on the front of my body, just right there around my hips, they're going to get tight, and my glutes, the backside of my body, is going to get very relaxed. So we need to work on opening up our hips in some good exercises, which lunges are a good one for that. Running, if you feel comfortable with running, is a good one to kind of open up your hips. And for actually working the backside of your body, glute bridges, squats, split squats, glute kickbacks, things like this, they'll help you actually work on a bunch of those areas in the glutes. Also, when you're sitting down, not doing too much active, your upper body also needs some of that same work. So trying to find ways to do pushing and pulling exercises back to back will be a good benefit to you as well. So if you focus on those three, right, that it needs to be time efficient, you need to kind of work with what you have, and you also need to work out for the situation. That's going to be your best bet while you are traveling. But otherwise, I'm grateful for your time. I hope you enjoy yourself while you're traveling. I will not be around on a podcast for the next, I guess, just week or so, just right around that holiday season. I just want you to enjoy your holidays, and I will see you right after Christmas, so not too long after that. All right, otherwise, take chances, make mistakes, and remember while you're traveling, you can still be efficient with your time for your body. Talk to you soon.